Welcome back to another episode of The Boat Boss, where we sit down and we talk to the most intriguing individuals around the globe. We talk about living, working, and playing on the water. My name is Kim Sweers, and I am the host of Boat Boss, and we are shooting live on location at the Discover Boating 2022 Miami International Boat Show. I don't know if any of you know, but this is my hometown. I was born and raised in Miami Beach, and we as an industry, and me of course, are beyond excited to bring the show home to the convention center and to Miami. So I'm beyond excited again. There's a lot of excitement going on here to welcome my next guest, Michele Goldsmith, who is the publisher of Sounding Trade Only magazine. Welcome to the Boat Boss.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
You have been a mentor of mine. This is the first time we met.
Yeah.
We met yesterday by chance at an event that had like 100 tables, and you actually chose my table, which is weird. So there's fate there.
Exactly.
Well, you know, for me, the industry is one that hasn't had a lot of women, and you are a forward thinker. You've done so well in the business. You've gone from manufacturing to fitness to media, and so I wanted to first tell the audience, I know what Trade Only does. This is the magazine that is like the New York Times to me. It is the industry. It tells everything that's going on every day and every week and every month. So tell us, what is Trade Only, the audience, for those that don't know what it is?
So Trade Only is the trade magazine for the marine industry. It's a global magazine. It's also a multimedia brand. So there's a magazine, there's a daily e-news, there's a website, there are social channels. And what we do is we reflect the industry back to itself. We inform the industry of what's going on. And every issue is also an inspiration. There's a forward look at what's happening. And if I were to describe Trade Only, I would say it's a technology magazine or a technology multimedia brand, a business magazine, and also the marine magazine. So it's kind of the best of your favorite business and how to run a business, because there are so many business owners within the industry that are small, large, and everything in between. Technology is pushing the industry forward.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
There's so much happening between mergers, acquisitions, shows, people moving and being promoted, that we try to keep the industry as informed as possible.
Yes.
And we look outside the bubble. I think it's really important to look outside the industry. So we've done things like we had the global ambassador for B corporations come and speak to the industry about what is a B corporation and sustainability and managing stakeholders. We did articles on hacking. You know, how to protect your data from hacking as a business.
So important.
So I think looking not only at what's going on within the marine industry, but what's going on in the greater business community is important.
So anything that affects the industry is really what you're reporting on, as well as the industry, news.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. So, you've been at Trade Only how long, Sounding Trade Only?
4 years.
4 years. So I want to take a step back for those of you that don't know Michele. I've studied her. I've actually, like I said, just met her, but she's such a great background. And you're a forward thinker. You're a lean thinker, which is lean management, and lean manufacturing has been something that we've incorporated at our dealership at FB Marine Group. But you come from that background. So I wanted to have you share with the audience how you got to where you're at, that it was very unorthodox. You actually started in another industry, within the industry, or another market, I should say, or space, and went to media. So tell us how you got to where you are.
So I've had an interesting journey. I'm really grateful for it, because I don't think I would be the publisher that I am if I hadn't happened. I'm probably the only publisher in the marine industry that's also an ABYC certified electrician. So I started out managing factories. I'm the third generation of marine manufacturing in my family. My grandparents and my father were in the industry, and my mom, for a long time. And I managed a plastics manufacturing. In fact, the step here at Intrepid was probably manufactured by me, and I designed the logo. And then I went into electrical. I wound up going to work for Charles, and I went into the electrical components part of the industry. And then on to Mastervolt, which went through several iterations. It's now ASG. And then went over to Lippert, which is the largest component supplier to the RV industry, and helped them as they were moving into the marine space. And had always worked in sales, marketing, product development, and operations, and bought media in trade. So when my predecessor was ready to retire, he said, would you think about doing this? And I thought, well, what a great opportunity. It's a chance to push the conversation of the industry
Absolutely.
forward.
Push that needle.
Yeah, so having a chance to stay within the industry but do something completely different.
Right.
And of course, my degree is in fine art, so it's a chance to
you're
use
like an artist.
the art side. It's a chance to use, the opportunity to instead of marketing for one company, I now help as many companies as I can promote their products and tell their stories.
Well, let's have a fun fact about you. You are a professional ice skater, I believe I heard?
Yeah.
Or something of the sort?
I am. I was a competitive figure skater as a kid, and it teaches you discipline. I was the child that got up at 4:30 in the morning and skated before school, and had a really tough coach who chased me with skate guards and went to school many times and winced as I sat down.
I love it.
But at that time, learning from sports how to win, how to lose gracefully, how to manage time, how to be disciplined, that drive that you have as an athlete stays with you.
I love it. What a great message. That is outstanding, Michele.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about the industry. Tell me the temperature of the industry. What's going on right now?
The industry is on overload, is how I would put it. Someone said to me, what's hot right now? And I said, there are two magical words in the industry right now. And they said, what are they? And I said, in stock. if it's in stock, it will sell. So I think for the industry, it's a magical time. It's a challenging time, but it's good challenges. It's, getting the right workforce.
Yep.
It's managing time. It's getting product. It's, for me, a lot of what I'm concentrating on is removing friction from the customer journey.
I love
whether
that.
that means in service, in sales, or in operations.
Hats off to you. Frictionless is the hot new topic right now.
It really
keyword.
is, and it's something that you'll see in trade, because I think the more efficient we become, the better we're going to be when these challenges arise again. And how grateful we all should be for the way that we came out of the pandemic. I
Right.
mean, we could have
Right.
been the hospitality industry or the restaurant industry, and instead people realized how amazing the boating lifestyle can be.
No, it really was an eye-opener. A lot of industries closed, which allowed all eyes on the marine industry, and it really was a way to get out of the house
Yes.
and have that freedom. So yesterday's breakfast, again, there was a great statistic that 416,000 boats were sold in the 2-year period since the onset of the pandemic. That's insane.
It is. I think our highest was a little bit closer to 500, but we're nearing the highest numbers. And what's interesting is it's a broad mix. I mean, if I look at the pontoon market right now and how pontoons are used, it's so vastly different, and the boats look so vastly different than they did when I started in the industry 30 years ago. So it's really good to see, and I think it's an interesting time too, because there's so many mergers and acquisitions going on.
Absolutely, yes.
Which can be really good because it's feeding
Yes.
investment into the industry.
I love it. Well, part of that 500,000 new boats sold, a lot of it were women. First-time boaters are women, and I know you're behind that 100%. Share with us what you're doing to push that needle to have more women and first-time boaters in the industry.
Yeah, I always joked that if I wrote a memoir, it would be the only woman at the table, because I was selling and teaching really highly technical products. First lithium-ion batteries in the industry.
That's cool.
And to see what's going on for women now, and that the opportunities are there. For me, I used to host two different dinners for women in the industry, and we couldn't have them because of COVID. So I decided to do a virtual breakfast. And what happened is it just grew to a point that organically who knew there were 400 women in the industry, number one, and then to have 400 women from 13 countries join us for a virtual breakfast and engage in the way that they did. We did a 90-minute program and had 335 chat messages from the women engaging.
Love it.
And we've gone on to do events for the women quarterly, and we'll do our first ever in-person women's summit the day before IBEX, the national trade show in Tampa in September.
Fantastic. Well, get me involved in that. It sounds awesome.
Yes.
So let's look at the future. What does the future look like? We have, print is going away and digital is leading. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think print will go away. I think, there's a reason why Amazon is opening bookstores.
Oh, I love it.
So there's a tactile feel to holding a magazine in your hands.
Yes.
Or reading it on an airplane, or sitting out on a beautiful aft deck with the latest news. So I really believe the change is you always have to have great content. And it's how people are going to consume that content. And there are technologies, just like there are technologies in boats, that are changing the way that people are consuming content. I will say that attention spans are changing.
It's like 7 seconds, I heard, some crazy figure.
Yes. So long form and short form articles are important, but I think that the point is to have content that really drives people to want to read.
And stay engaged.
And then have the technologies that allow them to consume it in the way that they want to.
That's fantastic. That's good news, because everyone's saying it's not going to happen, it's going to fade away like a lot of the other things that have passed, but I'm glad to hear that.
And I think what's starting to happen, look at the QR code.
Right.
No one wanted to do QR codes. Now if you go to a restaurant, all of them stopped printing menus. So I think QR codes are going to come back in to find metrics within print. So I think there are ways that technology will change that will also enhance what's going on the print side.
That's fantastic. Well, let's look at the future in regards to you. Is this something you're going to stay in the industry, you're in it to win it, and the future of sounding trade only? What's the future look like?
So I think the future, I look at it holistically. I think what makes the industry so great are the people that are in it. I think attracting really good, new, young talent is important within the industry. And if we can help with that, I think keeping the industry informed, and as technologies change, now it's the Internet of Things, it's telematics, it's being able to control and monitor your boat from wherever it may be. Boats are more integrated than they've ever been. I see that trend continuing. On the media side, it's, as I said, I think it's new technologies and how we can put great content out and have people consume it the way that they want to, when they want to, and where they want to.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited. We have a big initiative in the industry rolling out, which I'm going to get with you on, a workforce apprenticeship program that starts at the high school level, and we're about to make a big announcement in about a week or two. Very excited. I want to get with you on that. We'll circle back around for another episode if that's okay with you.
Fantastic.
Because
happy to do so.
There's a big event that's about to happen. Well, we have to get you back to the boat show, and I have to do some work here too. So, Michele, thank you so much for joining me on The Boat Boss. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for all that you're doing as well, and empowering women and empowering your staff.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure, and they say what is good for the industry is good for business. So, thanks again. If you are interested in, I highly recommend Trade Only. This is my Bible for the marine industry. It's tradeonlytoday.com. Go ahead and subscribe and get in the know. As I say on The Boat Boss, signing off for the 2022 Discover Boating Miami International Boat Show. As I always say, whether you live, work, or play on the water, just get on the water, because there's nothing better than a lifestyle on the water. Come to the show and see us here, and have a great day.